Merhabalar, hoş geldiniz. Herkese iyi akşamlar. Dersimiz birazdan başlıyor. So yes, welcome everyone. We are starting. Today we will talk about the past perfect tense in Turkish. In simple words, we will learn how to say I had done in Turkish. Here's a quick, small list of what to expect. As usual, I will really quickly this time explain the vowel harmony and the basic tenses. I will make some examples. Oh, weird. Okay, did it start now? Başladı mı? Okay, great. So yes, as you can see now, I will quickly explain again one more time the vowel harmony and basic tenses. I will make sentences in simple past tense, then I will turn them into past perfect tenses. And I will show you the combination, the grammar behind these subjects. Like how we say I had done in Turkish. Then of course I will make some examples. There will be interesting reminders, and if we have enough time, there will be some practice, and that's all. Mıştı, mişti, muştu, and müştü. So some examples to this. Depending on the vowel harmony, the base verb needs to include a flat and hard vowel. For example, yapmıştı. Yap, a is a flat and hard vowel, so yapmıştı. Bakmıştı. And after this, mişti, gelmişti. Wait, I will make these white. Gelmişti, söylemişti, istemişti. The next one, u. Sormuştu. This time it's muştu because of this u. Sorry, because of this o. Sormuştu. Duymuştu. Or okumuştu. And finally ü. This time we will need suffixes that has ü or ö in them. Like görmüştü, üzülmüştü, or dövmüştü. Okay, that's why the vowel harmony is important. Ügmüştü, exactly. That's why the vowel harmony is important. It determines your suffix. Depending on like a here, I have this mıştı. After e, I have mişti. After o, I have muştu. Or after u, I have muştu. It is all about this four-way vowel harmony. So if this is clear so far, I will move to the next slide. Does anyone have any questions about the vowel harmony and consonant hardenings? Clear, clear, perfect. And that's what you need to know for this subject. These I call it a connector. It connects two sentences or two clauses, whatever you call it. Like uncadığı zaman dığında. This is important. In Turkish books, if you have a Turkish book, you will call them as zarfil, but that probably doesn't mean anything to you. But if I put it in simple words, it's like adverbs from verbs. We put them to verbs and then we turn them into adverbs. And they are adverbs as in they describe the manner of the event. like when it happens. So these suffixes are technically what we call adverb verb, like zarf fiil, literally and technically. They're like, yeah, prepositions, but for time. And meaning, it means they are added to verbs and they turn them into adverbs, yes. And of course, their main function is connecting two clauses, like when in English. Ben eve gelince, when I come home. And there's a trick here. I put these slashes here because, as the attention says, there's no tense or personal ending. I mean, there's of course, but they're implied. There's no indicator. There's no endings. Ben eve gelince, I mean, even if I can remove this like this, eve gelince, oops, or eve geldiğim zaman. Except for this, you have this indicator, ben eve geldiğim zaman. But for ince, there's no tense and there's no personal ending. So context will tell you who we are talking about. It can mean when I come home, when I came home. In English, will come home, like when I will come home, probably is a bit unnatural, but my point here, you can also use it for the future, like I will do it when I come home. Eve gelince yapacağım. And even though the part with unca doesn't have any tense indicator, like tense endings, the second part will always have endings, like ben eve gelince yapacağım, the acak, future tense. Ben eve gelince yaptım, tım, like past tense. So, and diyim zaman is more or less the same. Ben eve geldiğim zaman. Again, it has no tense, but it indicates a person here. Eve geldiğim zaman. Ben geldiğim zaman. And if you say like when you come home, it will be sen eve geldiğin zaman. I can quickly write this like ben eve geldiğim zaman. Sen eve geldiğin zaman, o eve geldiği zaman, biz eve geldiğimiz zaman, siz eve geldiğiniz zaman, onlar eve geldikleri, sometimes we also say geldiği zaman. With the zaman, you can see the personal endings, that's my point. And there's also this dığında. And it's basically like you get rid of zaman and you shorten it to dığında. And if I again write it down here, it will look like this. Ben geldiğimde, sen geldiğinde, o geldiğinde. And biz geldiğimizde, siz geldiğinizde, onlar geldiklerinde or sometimes geldiğinde. Okay? And that was my point. I wanted to show you that the zaman has an indicator for the person, but unca it will always be the same. Ben gelince, sen gelince, o gelince, biz gelince, siz gelince, onlar gelince. So that was all for now. That's the whole thing you need to know. I will ask one more time because it is important. Is anyone confused? Is there any question? I don't want to jump into more advanced things. Like if you don't understand how this works, you will probably be confused later on. And yes, don't be afraid to say if it is not clear. Uh, Unca and can suffix are almost the same if they are added to verbs. Unca cannot be added to nouns. Can be added to nouns, but it will mean when. I want to show the difference in a new slide because I need to type it. I need to write it down. So we will have this noun, çocuk. So you can say çocukken. This will mean when I was or I am a child. But now you can't say çocukunca. This will be ük. But if you have a verb like gelmek, ben gelirken, but again this will depend because can is used with a tense, like a basic tense. This means while I'm coming. You can use other tenses, gelmişken, gelecekken, gelirken. So I can't say they are the same. Ben gelince. This will be like while I'm coming, or while I was coming, and when I come. So I don't think, or I can't say they are the same. They work differently and they mean different things. So yeah, I want to point out something here. Can work with nouns, but unca doesn't work. And with verbs, can needs a basic tense like gelirken, aorist, gelecekken, future, gelmişken, mış past tense, and ince doesn't need a tense. Okay, so tamam. If there are no other questions, I will move and finally show you more examples on our main subject. For now, I was only, setting up the establishment, the foundation in order to understand this subject. No questions, perfect. So like in the second half of our lesson, we will talk about the functions of mıştı. I will show you then examples. We will do practice and that's all. So the first main function of mıştı is past in the past. Like I had done, past perfect tense, if we talk about grammar terms. It is used to indicate that event, the first event, I made a typo here. The first event, this, had happened before the other events. Wow, I made a second typo here. This and this event, first event, second event. Both events, both of the actions happened in the past, but the first one, event A, happened before event B. Like here, event A is the action of kids sleeping. Çocuklar uyudu. Kids slept. And the other event, ben eve geldim. I came home. And when I put them together, ben eve geldiğim zaman çocuklar uyumuştu. Now you can see I use the dığım zaman, like when, and uyumuştu. I don't say ben eve geldiğim zaman çocuklar uyudu. I am saying ben eve geldiğim zaman çocuklar uyumuştu. And that is simply in English, when I came home, the kids had slept. And I want to show you this in timeline. So this is our timeline, like past and future, and then present, like this. There are two events in the past, and we are here in the present, and the time is 11:30, 11:30. The first event and the second event. You can also see the timestamps. Çocuklar uyudu. Çocuklar saat 10'da uyudu. Okay. And hold on. And now the second event. Ben eve geldim. You can now see the timestamp again. That is like 30 minutes later after kids sleeping. Ben eve geldiğim zaman, like here, ben eve geldiğim zaman çocuklar zaten or çoktan uyumuştu. And is that the same as when I came home, the kids were already sleeping? Yes, it is the same. You can also say uyuyordu for this, were sleeping, but maybe I show you more examples and you will see like the difference. Yes and no, yeah. It can mean that, but if I say were sleeping, I will use yordu, not mıştı. So, it is basically like this first event happening before the second event, and both of them are in the past. Okay? Maybe I can make one more example like this. I will keep the past tense, the timeline. I will make another example. Okay, so like here. So let's have another example. For example, like this. Ben seni aradım. Sen gittin. This happens first. So this happens at saat 7'de oluyor. This happens at 7 o'clock. And no, wait. This one happens first. And then I call you after. So I call you at 8 o'clock. Ben seni aradım. Sen gittin. And now, the first event and second event. When I combine them, ben seni aradığım zaman sen gitmiştin. Ben seni aradığım zaman sen gitmiştin. Ben seni aradım ve sen gitmiştin. Sen gittin. And again like this. The action of you going happened first, and after this, I call you, and when I called you, you had went. Okay? And yes, Megan, when I got to school, the class had already started. It is a bit complicated, Havla, yes. And also, wait, let me check my pings. Mert yazdığını şimdi görüyorum çünkü lessons'ta değil, onun içinde thread var. Şurada yazıyoruz. Onu da okuyacağım şimdi. Uyuyordu will be they were sleeping. Uyumuştu will be they had fallen asleep. Yes, uyumuştu they had slept, they had fallen asleep. Megan'ın cümlesi buradaydı. And Vio, correct. Seni aradığımda sen gitmiştin. Yes, you can get rid of the zaman part. Ben uyuduğumda önce yemek yemiştim. Are you trying to say when I slept or before I slept I had eaten, Jasmine? This time you don't use dığımda. This time you say before, which is madan önce. Uyumadan önce yemek yemiştim. So dığında is not the only part. Ben uyumadan önce yemek yemiştim. So yeah, maybe you can also say madan önce. And in Turkish, uyumak is both falling asleep and sleeping. Yeah, that one was tricky, I admit. Tamam, I believe when we have more examples, this will, be more clear. You will understand it clearly. So I will move to the second function of this mıştı. And yeah, so the other function of mıştı is it is not only to say you had done this, when you also talk about a mutual event in the past. And mutual event, I mean, you know, you both know that something happened in the past. So you both have a mutual point in the past, like this. And I never saw any books mentioning this. I don't know why. I mean, English books teaching Turkish. It is only mentioned in Turkish books. Probably because they teach this in a different subject. So we use this mıştı suffix when we also talk about a past event. Wait, I made this typo. That both parties, and by parties I mean both people, like both of you, know that it happened. So you and your friend are hanging out, and then it starts raining. So next day when you talk about it, you can say, biz evde otururken yağmur yağmıştı. Hatırlıyorsun değil mi? Like, hey, do you remember when we were hanging out? It was raining. It started raining. Yağmur yağmıştı. And other example to this could be geçen sene, last year, doğum günüme o da gelmişti. More examples to this. Geçen sene doğum günüme o da gelmişti. Last year, he also came to my birthday. And this time there's no past in the past meaning. It is simply he also came to my party. But when I talk about this, when I am talking to someone, they were also in my birthday party, so they also saw the person in question coming to the party. So it just indicates, or it kind of add more, I will call it like a flavor to the sentence. It makes it sound more natural. You can simply say o da geldi. That is also okay. Like geldi, that is also okay. But if you say gelmişti, that will sound it better. That because natives speak like this. Natives speak like this. Yeah, it is more spicy, exactly. Havla, as I just explained, you can also say yağmur yağdı. That will also be okay. It adds more emphasis that you were also there, you also saw it raining. So we both witnessed, we both were there. It makes a sentence sound spicy. Yeah, it makes a sentence like more natural. It is an easier option, yes, and but we are teaching here how to sound like a native speaker. So yeah, this is like a tip to sound better. It's not a necessary, you can keep with the simple past tense. There will be no problem. But native speakers will use this müştü past tense in this case more often. Aux, yes, perfect example. Shrek izlemiştik by the way, not görmüştük. We don't say görmek for movies, we say izlemiştik. So yeah, dün filmde Shrek izlemiştik. Perfect. So yeah, again, you can also simply say dün filmde Shrek izledik. But izlemiştik makes it better, more spicy, yeah. Or when we decide a new movie for the next week and I talk about other movies, I say last week we watched this, next week what should we watch? So geçen hafta what did we watch? Geçen hafta Shrek izlemiştik. Let's stick with Shrek. So geçen hafta Shrek izlemiştik. Bu hafta ne izleyelim? And if there are two past verbs in a sentence, should it be both muştu? No, because I will go back. In these examples, you can say both of them are past. Aradım, gittim. The first one, or the newer event, has this dığım zaman, and the second one gets this muştu. And Aurora, if you have an example to your question, maybe I can answer better. Mainly perfect, and yes, correct. Correct answer, by the way, except for the question part should be separate. İzlememiş miydik? I said Shrek because I couldn't remember iftarlık gazoz, so yeah, geçen hafta iftarlık gazoz izlemiştik. Evet, doğru. So now I will slowly move to the example sentences. That concludes our lesson, and that's the end of our lesson. That's it for today. Bugünlük bu kadar. Unfortunately, Havla, maybe, but we have been here for 1 hour and a half, like 90 minutes, and it's getting late for me, probably for some others, like some people already left, like Aux and Davut. So let's end it here. Burada bırakalım. I'm glad that you liked the lesson, Jasmine. Thank you for your kind words. Thank you, Megan. Thank you, Bio. Thank you, everyone else, for always being here, for always joining. Don't forget to do the homework tomorrow. And also, don't forget to join the practice on Monday. It will not be like these exercises, it will be an interesting speaking practice with, small games. And that's it. Herkese iyi akşamlar. Good night everyone and sonra görüşürüz. See you next time.